He's so underrated but so polarized in here. And listen, I'd be afraid to fight him too if I was in that division.
And he's ready to fight at all times. He is the Mexican monster. Sometimes I'm wondering, is somebody going to hurt him because he's right there in front of them?
It's like I'm sad, I'm upset because of my ambition or whatever, but every time we get into the ring, we know the risk.
I mean, if they don't give me the flowers, I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep getting these big fights, and I'm going to keep winning. I mean,
David Benavidez, living up to his nickname, the Mexican Monster, has revealed one of the wildest sequences in recent boxing memory. Ruthless 14-punch combination against Anthony Yarde, thrown entirely with one hand. It wasn't just aggression. It was calculated destruction. A message that his pressure is precise, relentless, and unforgiving. Benavidez broke it down himself to show that when he starts swinging, he doesn't stop until the job is finished.
Are you finally going to start getting your flowers that you deserve?
I mean, I hope so. I mean, if they don't give me the flowers, I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep getting these big fights, and I'm going to keep winning. I mean, at the end of the day, the only way to silence the critics is going in there and beating the best fighters out there. And I really don't care taking the challenge. You know, this is what I'm about, and I want the biggest challenges possible.
What happened in that ring at 5 a.m. in Riyadh wasn't just a win. It was a statement. While the rest of the boxing world slept, Benavidez was wide awake, dismantling contenders and forcing referees to step in before the damage became life-changing.
If I won today, things would have just skyrocketed, but I had a humbling defeat to an exceptional, probably future Hall of Famer, considering his resume. So yeah, man, it's like I'm sad, I'm upset because of my ambition or whatever, but every time we get into the ring, we know the risk of taking a knee, because I got hit in it like, a few times back to back. And then he hit me when I was down. The ref took 2 points, but after that I was dizzy, I can't lie, I'll be honest with you. Before that I was fine, just like I was worried about the blood. I was like, why is my nose bleeding like this? When he hit me when I was down, yeah, after that it was a bit harder to recover. And I didn't get no time.
The moment that broke the internet came midway through the fight, when things got messy and Anthony Yarde tried to survive by tying Benavidez up in a clinch. He pinned Benavidez's left arm, thinking he could slow the pressure and catch his breath, but he was completely wrong. Instead of waiting for the referee, Benavidez realized his right hand was still free and unleashed. A vicious barrage of 14 straight uppercuts and hooks with one hand while Yarde stood frozen, clinging to the trapped arm like a lifeline that had already snapped.
Anthony Yarde is a good fighter. You know, came in really prepared. He came in hungry, came in working hard, and he made it a war in there, you know. But I said, this is what I do. I'm not scared of no war. You know, I told him in the ring at like the 6th round when he was all bloody, I'm like, you wanted a shootout, right? This is what you wanted. And he didn't say nothing, so give me a second. So I'm really happy.
Benavidez later described the moment with chilling calm, saying he felt Yarde holding him and simply thought, I'm going to let it go, before firing a machine gun stream of punches into Yarde's face and turning a defensive clinch into a bloodbath. In his post-fight interview, he asked reporters, "Did you see that? It was like a movie scene, not to brag about technique, but to highlight the will it took to overwhelm an opponent trying to stall." He even told Yarde in the moment, "You wanted a shootout? This is what you want, right?" 14 punches of pure bad intentions that shattered Yarde's spirit before his body even fell.
Anthony Yarde did against Sergey Kovalev, against Artur Beterbiev. He gave them much tougher fights than he gave you. He was game. I thought he had a good game plan, right? He was trying to box you a bit and punch with you, but your volume took over in the end, your aggression. I mean, when you get going, I love that moment we had when he was holding you. You had the one hand free, and it counted 14 punches you hit him with.
Yeah, he was holding my hand, and you know, I seen an opening, so I'm like, I'm gonna just let it go. And I don't know if you guys caught it, but it was like a moment when he was bleeding everywhere. I'm like, you wanted to go to war, right? You wanted a shootout. This is what you want, right? And then the round just ended, so I thought that was pretty cool. But it was everything I expected it to be.
Here's the crazy of the fight. Benavidez boxed patiently and showed real technical skill, but an accidental head clash opened a cut and instantly flipped a switch. Feeling the blood, he abandoned the game plan, unleashed the Mexican monster, and turned the match into a violent street fight, one Yarde had no chance of surviving.
I said years ago, it's all on record, Anthony Yarde needs to get away from Tunsey and the team and the setup there as quick as he can, because he's the best in that gym. He's the best around there. Now, you want to be a champion, you want to be a world champion, go and train with people who've won world titles, or work with people who are on that level. And if you're the best in the gym, change gyms. I've always said this: if you're the smartest in the room, change rooms. And you know that more than anyone.
Absolutely.
I said this years ago. Now, if he does finally decide, he should have done it years ago, but if he does finally decide to go and do it and make the change, he was number 4 in the Ring Magazine rankings going into that fight. He's certainly not like right down at the bottom of the pecking order. He is probably just one win away from being back in the mix, so to speak. But that's a fight with Benavidez between the number 2 and the number 4 in the Ring Magazine rankings. And tactically, I don't think there was any tactics, and that's what's the hard thing for him to come.
Benavidez ditched the technical approach and snapped back into the pressure style that made him famous, stalking Yarde relentlessly until there was nowhere left for him to hide.
I think it started, he cut me like around 6. I said, you want to shoot out? Let's go for it then. And you see what I did. We stepped into Monster's world and he got KO'd.
Well, there was a tiny cut, but it didn't affect you in any way. How would you grade your performance?
I graded B+. You know, I'm not going to lie. I think I could have did a little bit stuff better, but there's always room for improvement. But people wanted to see the knockout. They said I couldn't stop this guy that had no power 175, and you know what I mean?
There was another, more desperate reason Benavidez hit the gas in round 7, the math. The referee deducted 2 points from him, a disaster in a sport often decided by razor-thin margins. Suddenly, he'd basically handed Yarde 2 free rounds, and Benavidez admitted he had no idea how the judges were scoring it. With a 2-point deficit, he knew he couldn't risk leaving the fight in their hands. He had to end it himself.
You busted up that right eye. I mean, did you maybe break the orbital?
I don't know, bro. I broke something. You know, it was a good fight. You know what I mean? We both got into it. He cut me. I think that turned me, that you know, to flip the switch in me. You know, I knew how to get it back, and I caught him with the uppercut, and then he just started gushing blood everywhere. I don't know if it was the nose, the eye, or what it was, but I just kept it going, and the blood kept coming out. You know what I mean? It was a pretty cool sight. So, but then I dropped him, and then I got 2 points taken away, and because I didn't know if. So I felt like a lot of blood coming out. I didn't know if they're going to stop the fight because of, you know, that's just how I was thinking. So I'm like, if they stopped the fight, they took 2 points away from me. I don't know where the scar card's at, so I'm going to just take advantage of this. And
now that the dust is settled, Benavidez is using this performance to flex on the entire division. Anthony Yarde isn't some easy opponent. He pushed Artur Beterbiev and Sergey Kovalev to the brink and even had Beterbiev hurt. But Benavidez walked through him like he wasn't even there. And he made sure to highlight that fact, saying he made the fight look far easier than the current champions did. He credited his jab in defense, noting he took far less damage than Beterbiev did against the same opponent, and the footage backs him up.
Anybody out there still wondering why David Benavidez was the main event, bro? Is anybody out there still wondering why they made David Benavidez the main event? I seen Devin Haney fans crying in my previous post about giving him like a B. That what an A look like from KO. That what an A+ look like from KO. You pepper him. You outbox him. You outclass him. And when you realize he ain't got nothing for you, you go step on his ass. Okay? I told y'all, David Benavidez just made me a lot of money tonight. Channel members, y'all know. What I tell y'all, David Benavidez stoppage between round 7 and round 8. Easy pick. Anthony Yarde gasses after 4 rounds. David Benavidez gonna turn up and pepper that boy. I think he might have broke his orbital bone, broke his nose, blood leaking. David Benavidez a problem. Bring Dimitri Bivol here, dog. Bring Artur Beterbiev here. Beterbiev my dog. He's just a little too old. Benavidez is him. So summing up the card real quick. Best fight of the night. Abdullah Mason Sam Noakes. Best performance of the night. Bam Rodriguez. And David Benavidez is right there with him, but I felt Bam Rodriguez was in there in a unification fight against a world champion. An undefeated fighter. David Benavidez was in there with somebody that already been stopped before 2 times. So David did what he's supposed to do. It looked more brutal. It was more abrupt.
This was Benavidez' 3rd fight at 175 pounds. And he believes he's finally silenced the critics who claimed his power wouldn't carry up from super middleweight. By dismantling a tough, cerebral contender like Yarde faster and cleaner than the division's most feared, Champions Benavidez sent a clear message. He's no hype job. He's the real threat at this weight.
Hey, how'd you give him that nickname, the Mexican Monster?
He's so underrated, but so polarizing here. And listen, I'd be afraid to fight him too if I was in that division. No one even has a chance against him. It appears to be, you know. I'm just talking from facts.
That's true.
He's hungry.
Yeah.
His last the press conference was.
It was lit.
I'm a huge fan of the Benavidez family.
Good people.
My primary opinion of what's been going on right now is that David Benavidez is the most feared man since Iron Mike Tyson. This man is stripping the skirt of Canelo and Dimitri Bivol, and we seeing the thong. We seeing maxi pads. These dudes got their period. These dudes are leaking. When it comes to David Benavidez,
It wasn't all smooth sailing behind the scenes. This camp was brutal. Benavidez revealed he had to rest completely just to conserve enough energy to make weight and survive the fight.